Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 18 of my 1 versus 3 versus 3 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against two separate teams of 3 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Halfling Dreadnought, Welby the Tinkerer. In our last episode, the events around the city of Sassistan kind of heated up. As you can see here, we've actually got units that belong to Camille Moonflower, who is our halfling rogue and the teammate of Colm the Lucky. This city we actually took from Colm, and you can see that Colm is bringing his units in to try to reclaim the city. Very powerful stack of units right here. And then, as I mentioned, Colm's teammate Camille is also bringing units in to put the city under siege. So we've got a stack here that's able to kind of put up some defense, but I really don't know if we're going to be able to hang on to the city. I suspect we're going to have tremendous difficulty, but in any case, as I said, things are heating up around Sassistan. Now, we also had some big success last episode with developments in the underground, and this is specifically dealing with Holly and her stack here. As you can see, we've actually gotten control of the orc town of Rados, and we're in the process here of absorbing it. We've started to acquire some very, very powerful units. As you can see here, we've got an orc shock trooper, a Frostling Ice Queen, and we're kind of keeping that. We're going to try and keep that ball rolling underground and keep that momentum going with Holly and her stack. So lots of work to do this episode. However, before I dive in, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some fantastic comments on the last episode. The first of those comments comes from Insert Username. Now, Insert pointed out a couple of things here. In the last episode, I had been the recipient of a large amount of extra knowledge. And I was kind of I was pondering what would be a good choice regarding research selection. And obviously you can see here, since we have 302 extra knowledge, we're going to be able to apply that to, if we really wanted to, we could actually finish a few of these options immediately, or at least, we could actually do, like, for example, we could do Invention and Terraformer, and we'd still get those both done in instantaneously, and then we could pick our next thing. So what Insert is pointing out is that Rugged Pioneers and Terraformer would be two decent options for me to kind of use this extra knowledge on, since they're both kind of things that would sort of be a waste now that my knowledge income is dramatically over these kind of mid 100 range things, that would sort of just be a waste to kind of spend a turn doing them anyway. So not a bad choice. Rugged Pioneers, of course, would improve the mobility of my settlers and builders. And Terraformer would actually be a great way for me to improve city happiness and use up some of the mana that I've been generating. Although I have already been using it up fairly dramatically, and we're starting to kind of run a bit lower on mana. So great points there from Insert. I think those are two great options. And then he also suggests that I could then focus on Summon Siege Engine once I've kind of applied my my built-up knowledge. Insert also pointed out that something I could do regarding Sassistan here, if we go and take a look, rather than trying to play defensively and just kind of sit and wait for them to surround me, what I could actually do is venture out and attack Camille's forces. And there's a couple of reasons why Insert is suggesting this. The main reason, though, is that we're probably going to lose the city no matter what we do, but this way we might be able to actually inflict some pretty serious losses on Camille here. And in particular, our golems, who are going to be our frontline troops, are going to be resistant and are actually immune to seduce. So the halfling succubus here will not be able to seduce them. And in addition to that, you can see that these two stacks of units are actually in a line, meaning that if we engage them in battle, this stack is going to be kind of substantially behind this front stack. And if Camille decides to kind of start attacking me right away, we might be able to actually engage these units and do some damage to them before these units are even really kind of factoring into the battle. And I think that's actually a very astute observation from Insert. So something I'm going to consider doing for sure. The next set of comments here comes from John Calabro. Regarding the research choices, John suggested that I could do Invention to gain additional casting points, which I really think is a good idea. That would be beneficial for me. This would also increase my mana capacity as well, allowing me to store a bit more mana, which wouldn't be so bad either. And then John is also suggesting that I could then as well pursue Summon Siege Engine or maybe Rugged Pioneers. So something I was thinking about too is that if I were to, let's say, do Invention here, I would then still have enough left to do Summon Siege Engine and have it still only take one turn. Because again, we have 316 coming in. So let's say we did Invention. That would mean we'd still have about, 142 left. So that would give us enough to do Summon Siege Engine still in one turn and have it be accelerated. So, again, great point there from John Calabro. Something to think about. Again, kind of weighing the different opinions from Insert and from John. John also points out that I kind of mentioned how, it would be great to eventually get Juggernauts into the battle, despite them being very expensive to produce. And John pointed out that something I could consider doing is continue to focus on rolling out as many Tier 3 machine units as I possibly can. So cannons, flame tanks, that kind of thing. And then maybe in about 10 turns or so, if I kind of have maybe a bit of a lull in fighting or something kind of opens up, I could then dedicate, for example, Hard Thistle to producing the structure needed. So we'll just jump over. To producing the structure needed in order to actually produce. So I need an industrial plant. And then I could actually commit to making some Juggernauts. So again, I like that idea from John to basically kind of not focus on it right now, but keep that door open maybe in the future depending on how things go. The next set of comments comes from My Brain Hurts. Brain pointed out something that I need to kind of be aware of, and I think this is just a great reminder for everybody. There actually is a minor glitch when it comes to... I'm trying to think where this happened. I think it was in this battle for the Sphinx where I recruited this Tigran Mystic. So Brain is just pointing out that when you convert a Tigran Mystic, once this unit is converted in the battle, if you were to use Werepanther to try to heal the Mystic and turn it into the Dire Panther, that can actually break the conversion. So it can basically give you almost like a mind control immunity little buff there when you actually engage it. And that's actually kind of a glitch, but it's something to be aware of, because had I done that, I wouldn't have then been able to have those Tigran Mystics be converted. So just a good warning there from Brain. Brain also pointed out that something I could have done, and I think I kind of mused about maybe doing this or not. I thought about potentially just abandoning the city. So having these units just kind of run away. I think I had them sort of down here after battling with some of Colm's units. So I had talked about potentially just having them retreat down this way, maybe grouping up with the cannons and then coming back to try to reclaim the city. I opted to actually go back and try to kind of put up a defense of the city. But Brain is suggesting that something I could have done is run away, basically, and live to fight another day. And I think Brain makes a good point. Again, I was kind of torn because on the one hand, obviously having the city there does help me a little bit as I have the wall. And I'm also going to have Bell Tower kind of benefiting me with some extra damage to the attacking armies. But I really think that again, Brain makes a good point that I could have done that. The next set of comments comes from Yonsiech. Yonsiech agreed with me regarding my decision not to attack Colm. So if we jump over here, we did take a peek. We scouted a little bit further using our units over here, and it turned out that Colm had brought in another hero, I believe a Druid Hero, and had a very, very powerful human knight that was stationed here that was Champion 1, I think. And we didn't have this ogre before, so I really didn't have a lot of powerful units in these stacks, quite frankly. And I kind of hemmed and hawed and decided, you know what, I'd rather be a little bit more conservative and not just jump right in and try for the kind of kill outright and put Welby at risk. And Yonsiech agreed with me. He thought that was a good choice. Again, somewhat frustrating to kind of have to hold back, but ultimately a decent decision. Yonsiech is suggesting that something I could do now is to scout and spy kind of around the area of Colm here and look for opportunities where there's units being brought into the front lines that are kind of on their own, or units that are being brought in one by one. Something I could try to do, since Welby does have Dominate, is I could move in and try to steal some of his units and also kind of snipe them off so they can't reinforce. And I think that's actually a great point. Something else I could consider doing even is heading over here and trying to dominate this Node Serpent, for example. So I'm going to, I think, try to kind of build up a bit of an army using Welby here, such that I'm able to then put some pressure on Colm. But I'm going to have to be careful, because if I venture too close in here, he may just engage me in battle as well. Yancich also suggested that regarding the situation in Sassistan, something that I could consider doing, and I think this is actually a great idea, is rather than having Habby and Pimpton kind of continue pressing north, what I could instead do is have them kind of gradually move to the east. And I think especially with Habby, given his position right here, that would actually, I think, make a lot of sense. So what I could do is basically send Habby over, kind of across this bridge, have him move over. We could even grab this watchtower for some extra vision, and come over to kind of bring the fight to Sassistan and kind of reinforce. And we'll probably lose the city and have to reclaim it. And the point that Yancich is making here is that this would kind of allow me to have a battle going on the eastern front, but really focus more on one front of battle, rather than if I continue to press northwards with Pimpton and with Habby, I'm almost, I'm basically guaranteed to encounter the rest of my opponents. And we already sort of have here with Galendil, who recently turned this giant dwelling into his vassal. If we keep pressing north, we're going to kind of poke the bear, as it were, and really start having a battle on multiple fronts. We're going to have a war in the north and a war in the east. And I may not be able to effectively fight a war on two fronts at this point. So I may kind of instead want to focus a little more on playing defensively in the northern front, and then be a little bit more aggressive and focus my attacking on the eastern front over here. And then once this has calmed down, or I'm hopefully able to kind of gain the upper hand, maybe then I can then turn around and continue pressing north. But a really, really good suggestion there from Yancich, and something for me to kind of think about. Let's just see if there was anything else here. I also might be able to steal that giant dwelling. This is something Yancich pointed out. If Galendil decides to actually absorb this dwelling, there's going to be a period of time where there's nothing defending it. And I may actually be able to just swoop in and take it from him. So if I can figure out a way to do it, I might be able to park like a spy drone or something kind of on the edge here. And then if that happens, I could swoop in and try and take it. So great points there from Yancich. Just a quick final note here from Gladden. Gladden is, just to remind everybody, one of the individuals who's actually involved in the creation and development of the Shadow Realm expansion mod pack. Gladden just wanted to point out that Quandria, who is my Shadow Elf opponent here, she's actually pure good. And this is kind of weird because if we look at Quandria and her specializations, she is actually a Grey Guard. So what Gladden is pointing out is that this is actually a bit of a bug, and that Quandria herself, all the AI leaders that are kind of pre-made have a preset, whether they end up being sort of leaning towards good, being neutral, or being evil. And Quandria is, I guess, set to being good, which was a bit of an oopsie, or a bit of a bug. So hopefully that will then be rectified in future updates to the mod pack. So thank you to Gladden for just pointing this out, and that obviously, this mod pack is a work in progress. I think it's in phenomenal condition considering that it's a work in progress. I think it's really, really, in good shape already. But, once again, I want to point out a big thank you to everybody who's involved in the, modding and continued development of Age of Wonders 3, because obviously, despite being, a somewhat older game, there's still a very vibrant and active community. And, of course, we all appreciate the work you guys do. So, big thank you to Gladden and everybody involved in the modding community. And as well, a huge thank you to everybody who left those excellent comments and suggestions. I really do love it, because anytime I have sort of a conundrum or something I need advice on, you guys always deliver. All right. Lots to do here. So, we're going to dive right in. We've kind of done most of our movement. I'm just kind of poking around here to see what we had left to do. So let's take a look at this actual situation here in Sassistan, because again, this is going to be kind of what it all comes down to. So if we wait and come under attack from this army, I don't think we're going to be able to hold out against this. I mean, again, the Magical Rider alone is going to be able to get past our walls like they're nothing. The Warbreed's just going to keep regenerating if it takes damage. The Knight is very powerful. I think we're going to be in tough. So it might actually be worth just trying to attack our rogue opponent here. Now, it's saying very likely defeat, and honestly, we may end up losing this battle. But if we can inflict a ton of damage on Camille, you know what? This might be worth it. So, you know what? Let's give it a try. You know, who knows? This may end up going very poorly for me, but... Okay, that's unfortunate. So moving target means that they are, if I'm not mistaken, that makes them very, very difficult to damage at this point. Let's take a look at that. So moving target, yeah, gains +8 defense for the next 2 turns. Thankfully, they didn't decide to charge right in at us, so we might actually be able to just have that kind of run out before it becomes a huge issue. We're going to drop a heal on our golem, of course. We can move in and use guard breaks, so let's do that. Nice, we got the kill there. Very, very good. I think what we'll do is... I think we'll throw a weaken on the succubus, and then we'll use some guard break as well over here. Very nice. And then we can maybe do a blunderbuss shot here. I'm just trying to figure out where would be kind of an optimal position for us. Let's see, what kind of damage do we do to the crows? Not really a ton, to be perfectly honest. Let's step our Civic Guard up and see if we can help out a little bit. There we go. What kind of melee damage would we do? Ooh, not good at all, so that's not a great option. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get both of them in the blast here. So I think we'll just blast the crows. Yeah. So unfortunately, our engineers are probably going to die here. Ooh, ouch, that shock damage is dangerous. There's that Seduce coming into play. And I think he killed off... Yeah, he killed off the builders, so no more free repairs, which is unfortunate. But we can probably kill off this succubus here. Very nice. And that frees up our Civic Guard, which is great. So now this succubus, unfortunately, is a very high defense. And we don't have any way to kind of... Oh, you know what we could do? Oh, we can't quite get there. I was going to say... Oh, you know what? Yes, we can. We can try and steal the enchant... Yeah, let's do it. We stole the enchantment. Okay, so that's going to give us at least an opportunity here to do something here. Let's get the kill on that crow. And then we can... You know what? Let's step up like this and throw this to turn them. And then we can do some big damage here. Very nice. So... Yeah, our Blight Doctor stole that ability there, which is great. Or, excuse me, that spell. Okay. Bye-bye, engineers, and our Civic Guard were once again seduced. Now, the good news here is that I think we can just step up and kill the succubus. Oh, are you kidding me? Unbelievable. I think our Blight Doctor should be able to... Wow. Okay, just getting lucky like crazy. Thankfully, we got it done. So now the succubi are both dead. Our golem is not... Neither of our golems are in great shape, so I think maybe we'll just do defense here. The biggest threat is actually potentially this Shock Serpent and the Initiate. Because of that shock damage, you can see here it does a lot of damage to our machine units. So maybe we step up here and use our Civic Guard to tie up the Shock Serpent a little bit here, perhaps. Just like that. Maybe try and kind of prevent them from moving in. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's another moving target. Boy, that moving target is pretty unpleasant, I'll say. Let's see. If we step up like this, we... you know what? We'll do the flank here. And then we can move in and get the kill this way. Yeah, so our golems are almost certainly going to die. But we did a lot of work here, and we actually killed off some of his most powerful units, which I'm quite happy about. So we can step down here and blast this boar with some big damage, and then get the finish. And now this golem's almost certainly going to die from the Shock Serpents. Oh, or from a Rain of Blades there. Alright, so... Yeah, we're just going to kind of lose now, unfortunately, to this final unit, the Longbowmen. Yeah, there's... Let's see, what kind of damage can we do? If we use this spell and we get a high roll, we could actually kill them. Although, you know, again, is that even beneficial? Like, we're winning the battle. We'd have 1 unit left on the city. Is it even going to be able to do anything? Let's roll the dice. Nice. All right, we did exactly the amount of damage we needed. All right, well, you know what? We were going to probably lose the city anyway. We killed off Camille's units. You know what? I'm actually pretty happy with that outcome. That worked out pretty well. So, again, this golem is basically going to get just absolutely destroyed by Colm's units here. But at least we did some damage to Camille. The good thing now, though, is that this stack is almost certainly not going to be moving all the way over here and attacking my cannon. So, I wonder if it would be beneficial to move our cannons kind of in there. The only problem is then they're maybe vulnerable next turn when he inevitably takes the city. I'll think about this one after. Let's see what else we've got going on. I think we still had a few things left to decide. Let's double check with Welby here. Okay, I think we're just going to kind of enjoy this new ogre, kind of let our forces recharge a little bit after this battle. And then, yeah, I think we might want to even head over here and try and dominate this node Serpent. I think that would be quite beneficial for us, actually. And let's see, any other developments here? Let's double check Holly. I think we've done everything with her. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So now we get to decide our research choices here. So let's do that. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot, and the extra casting points would be fantastic. Rugged Pioneers and Terraformer would both be great. I mean, this goes back to insert username suggestions. Terraformer in particular, I think, would actually be quite useful for me. But I think what I'm going to do is go Invention and then apply the rest of the points to summon Siege Engine so I get this one turn earlier. So let's do that. So we'll grab Invention. So we've still got 142 left. So this would now allow us to do summon Siege Engine in a single turn. And I think that's what we're going to do. So now we can get that one done in one turn. And I really want to have this because it actually could make a big difference in a battle where you can summon an extra unit temporarily to your aid. And in particular, this would come in handy over here when we're Welby fighting against Colm. We may need an extra unit or two in battle. So, all right, let's see what else do we have going on. We've got production choices to make. Not a ton of gold remaining. So I think in most of these cities, we're just going to do merchandise, as we kind of always do. Yeah, we can tell these units to just hang out for a turn here. That's okay. Again, our cannons, I got to figure out what to do. I think we're going to actually redirect Habby to move over this way. And we will, I think, group this cannon in with him. He'll have 2 cannons and a flame tank, which is pretty rock solid. I think we'll get rid maybe of the musketeer or something. We could send the musketeer down this way or whatever and have him try and join in. I guess I'll have to figure out now what's the fastest way there. Looks like going through the north, and then we can grab these haste berries on our way over. So that's probably what we'll do. So in the meantime, I guess we'll just kind of maybe pull our cannons back a little bit. Have them kind of sit right here. Yeah, we still have a few of these units here, which we're just going to tell to kind of chill out. In terms of casting a spell, what do we really want to work on next? Suppress Nature. Again, we do want to get this one up and running eventually. But you know, again, too, at this point, we can apply our 3 casting points to it, but is that really going to make a huge difference? I think we'll just hold off on casting the spell and decide next turn based on sort of what happens here, rather than committing to it now. And I think we've kind of done everything else we need, so let's end our turn there. All right, let's watch what happens here at Sassistan. We're going to just, I assume, get attacked here by Colm's forces. I will say those golems sure do put in work. When they have that gold medal and they are very nicely leveled up, they are actually extremely powerful units. Alright, so Camille is just doing her turn. I'm sure she's a little bit upset that we killed off her units and prevented her from gaining control of the city. Alright, here goes Colm. Let's see what he decides to do. Of course, I'm fully expecting him to just siege the city. Oh, look at this. Okay, he's bringing in another Manticore Rider. Ooh. Oh my, look at this. We are coming under attack. Wow. Okay, so we are being attacked by 2 heroes here. Alandra the Exorcist and Crimson Sunset, who is a human rogue. And here's that human knight with champion. Boy, this is dangerous. It's telling us probable defeat. I mean, we're in tough here in this battle. That is for sure. You know, again, we got 2 Warbreeds here, a Manticore Rider, 2 Knights. Oh my goodness. I think we're going to be hard-pressed to win this one. We may end up losing Welby here. All right, let's try it. Boy, I did not expect him to come out and attack me like that. I guess I shouldn't really be surprised. It's just, man. Okay, you know what? Arachnid Horde would probably be a good choice for this battle. That's just going to give us some extra units, many of which are going to have the ability to, you know, web and stuff like that. So let's do Arachnid Horde. I think that's going to be a good choice for us. That's just going to give us some extra bodies for this fight, which, honestly, I think we are going to really, really need here. Now, I think we also maybe want to level up, or heal up this Ogre a bit, because obviously he's in kind of rough shape. So let's throw on a Nourishing Meal on the Ogre. Oh, God, this battle is going to just be ugly. I am not a big fan of what's going on here. Okay, we're going to buff our Draconian. Our Blight Doctor, we're going to have to try and make use of weakening at some point here in this fight, I think. God, these Magical Riders have such extreme range, too. We have to be very, very careful. Armor here, we can, I guess, kind of pull back. We're just going to sort of consolidate as much as we can. Alright, our Ogre, along with our Pony Rider here, are going to have to sort of be our main fighting force here, I think. Ugh. This is extremely unpleasant. Nice. Okay, he tried to disjunct the Arachnid Horde and he failed. Thank goodness. He may try that again next turn, so we'll have to see. So I'm very, very thankful that we're getting these spiders here, because they are just going to serve as a bit of a distraction and a bit of a deterrent there, so that's good. We could weaken... I think it might be good to weaken the Manticore Rider, as that's obviously the most powerful unit here. The problem with the Warbreeds is that they have regrowth, which means that if you let them, they're just going to... Well, they're going to make your life not fun, because they're going to continue to heal over time. So I really don't know if we're going to be able to win this battle. Let's see what other spells we could cast. I mean, we could start throwing some fireballs, I guess. That's not really going to... Oh, you know, it does some decent damage to the hero, at least. Let's take a look at this hero. So it's a... Okay, it's a Necromancer hero. Raised Corpse is going to be an issue if we obviously lose a unit. Let's see, what kind of damage? We could straight up kill the hero. That wouldn't maybe be such a bad idea. Of course, you know, we need to basically focus on these Manticore Riders because they're a huge problem. Welby himself is decently powerful. We do have a Dominate we could try and use on somebody. Maybe if the situation is right for it. You know, that might actually be a way to try and turn the tides of the battle a little bit. We'll have to see. Oh, man. Okay, I'm kind of procrastinating making choices here because this is a very delicate battle for me. Ay. Again, we could kill the hero fairly easily. We can charge in here. We can bring our ogre in, do some work on the hero. My biggest fear, though, is this Magical Rider, obviously. So, and these war breeds are nasty as well. They're very vicious. So perhaps we... I'm trying to think here, what would be the best choice? Do we want to weaken the Magical Rider? Probably. You know what? We can actually step back just a touch. And then we'll weaken the Magical Rider. Now let's see what kind of damage can we do here. Where I don't think we're going to be able to get the kill or anything like that. Yeah, this is just gross. Now again, the question is, do we want to just try for the hero instead? I mean, killing the hero would be great, as that's kind of one less, you know, very powerful unit. But then we still have this Magical Rider to deal with, so... I hate to do it, but I might just go for the hero, honestly. I mean, we're probably losing this battle kind of no matter what we do here, I think. I just don't see this going well for us. Okay, because let's just take stock. I know I'm dilly-dallying a lot, but we've got the Warbreed, Magical Rider, Hero, Cavalry, Knight, another Warbreed. Yeah. This is not good. Not good at all. Let's do it. And then... Ooh, and we can't quite get the kill. Now, if we throw some Weavers, we can probably get the finish. Let's see, can we get the finish? Ooh, not quite. We're going to be a little bit short. What if we do this? Yes, there we go. Okay, so at least we killed the hero. Not that that makes a huge difference or anything, but hey, it's something. We'll park our farmer there in defense. We could step up and do a, I don't know, an assassin strike on the knight, I guess. I don't know. Actually, would be nice to use on the Magical Rider because it has that weaken on it. I think what we'll do is we'll use our Hellhound just to deal with the knight. We can step in our Elder, do a little bit of damage there. I think we'll move our assassin up like that. Meanwhile, Welby over here. We haven't cast a spell yet. We could also just save our casting points for if Arachnid Horde is disjuncted. Although, again, the longer this battle goes, I mean, we're going to lose more and more of our units. Do these spiders really make a huge difference at that point? Yeah, nothing else here is really going to make a big difference for me. In terms of, like, you know, damage or anything like that. I mean, I suppose something we could do is throw Skin of Oil on the Magical Rider, perhaps. Although, we could use Skin of Oil to try to then maybe dominate something like a Warbreed or whatever. Alright, let's think about what to do with Welby here. I don't want to obviously put him in any unnecessary risk. I mean, he's going to be in risk no matter what I do, just because of all these units, but... boy, oh boy, this is not good. Let's see, can we do this? Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's see, what else do we have? So, it's just the Magical Rider in there, so we could step up and we'd have to walk a little closer, which I'm a little hesitant to do. We can try for an immolation. Okay, resisted. Oh, man, this is not good. Yeah, and there it is. Arachnid Horde has been disjuncted. Warbreed coming in. Of course, our spiders are all dead now. Now, thankfully, let's see. So what died? So we lost our ogre. What we can do, though, is we can flank the crap out of this Magical Rider and then do a nice assassin strike here and get the kill. So at least we killed the Magical Rider. That's something. Now, what are our odds here of dominating? You know what? We got a 65% chance of dominating here. That's pretty decent, to be perfectly honest. You know what? Maybe we roll the dice on this one. Nice! We did it. Okay. We got ourselves a Warbreed. Now, of course, he could get rid of that with a spell or something, so we have to, you know, that's obviously not a guarantee of anything, but... Ooh, and look at this. We can actually do a nice flank shot there. And then, you know, we could do some pretty decent damage over there, actually. You know what? If we step up like this... Oh, look at this. Alright, you know what? Let's do this. And then we can probably get the kill with flanking here. Oh, just about. Alright, well then what we'll do... Step in. I should have done that a little differently because I took a lot of damage with my Pony Rider, unfortunately. Okay, you know what? It all is not lost. Now, the only caveat here, this only lasts for 3 turns. We have to remember that. It's a temporary domination. It's not like Convert where it's permanent. Oh, and he dispelled it. Of course he did. All right, that just kind of screwed me a little bit, I think, here. We had that Warbreed. I think that would have made a huge difference for us. Instead, now we're going to have to... Yeah, this is not ideal. Just trying to decide who would be best to... What would be the best way to deal with this Warbreed? Again, we could get the kill here with our Elder, which is probably what we're going to have to do, to be honest. Alright, let's step up like that, and yeah, we'll kill him. Ugh, that pains me. Alright, so now perhaps we try and do some work on this hero a little bit, I guess. You know what, we can... We're pretty much going to lose our Pony Rider here, that's guaranteed. Do have a Throw Chicken. And if we're gonna lose our hero, we definitely need to make them pay, I think. You know what? Let's step around over here with our Pony Rider and do this. There we go. Okay. Last stand. Okay, there goes Welby. Again, we kind of knew he was probably going to die in this battle. The good news, though, is that we can actually put in some pretty solid work right here and kill off this hero, I think. Not to mention, we've also still got these farmers over here. And our Pony Rider is actually still alive. Okay, let's think about this a little bit. Now, will we get the kill? We may not. We may have to also double up with our Blight Doctor, which would be kind of a shame. Right, let's try it. Oh, we didn't quite get the kill. That's a shame. So what we'll do is we'll step in like this. Get the kill like that. All right, so at least we killed the hero. Now, as for our farmers here, do we want to put the herd on the Warbreed? Of course, if we do, we're going to take a pounding. Our Pony Riders here are pretty much screwed. So I think we'll just camp them out. I think we do the damage. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that was the right choice, to be honest. Oh, Lucky coming in to help us a little bit there. That's great. Okay. We can kill the Warbreed. Could use a gunshot here. Kill the Warbreed. And then all that's left is the Knight. Yeah, let's do that. We'll kill the Warbreed. Okay, very nice. Now, how do we approach this? I think we want to throw... Ooh, you know what? We could steal the enchant. We could steal that away. It's not such a bad idea, actually. The other option is we throw a weaken, but I think it's better to steal it, personally. Step up like this, and then we'll steal it. Now we can do some work here. So let's do some damage. Now one of our units is going to die. It's just which one does he want to attack. Okay, so he went for the Pony Rider, who actually held his own and did some work there. That was excellent. Okay, now how do I do this? Oh, boy. Okay, let's step in. Ooh, yeah, we can do some big damage. Very nice. Okay, step up a little bit more. Can we get the kill? Yes! All right, okay, so we lost Welby. Really unfortunate. But But an important thing there is that we actually did some work there. We killed off a couple of Colm's heroes, and we resisted, again, that whole front is now kind of kaput, but... Alright, yeah, Colm is sieging the city. We're gonna just lose the city, unfortunately. Oh, and now we're coming under attack from the Druid Hero by herself. Isn't this interesting? All right, let's do this one. Okay. I suspect the hero is going to use some spells here. And, of course, we can't cast any because Welby is dead. I think this might mark, if I'm not mistaken, this might mark the first time in one of my series where my main hero has died. Again, I could be wrong on that, but... Alright, we'll park ourselves behind some cover here and let's see what she decides to do. Okay, she used root spears there. Not really surprising. How much damage do we do? Yeah, we're going to throw on a weaken there, that's for sure. And then we can step up. Do a little bit of work. I shouldn't have grouped up, because now she can move in and attack me in melee. That was a mistake. Okay, thankfully she didn't do that. Missed opportunity on her part, in my opinion. And we'll step up and do some big damage there. That's excellent. Ooh, and look at this. Lots and lots of damage there. Ooh, the immolation almost killed her. Ooh, and she ran off. Okay. That's a shame we weren't able to get the kill, but maybe I should have moved up the Elder a little more, but... Oh, and look at this. Now Colm is stepping up to... Ooh, he's grabbing my items. Dang it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I'm glad that we were able to at least win that battle and kill off his heroes. I mean, he's going to be able to summon them again, or revive them again using the spell that all leaders get access to eventually to revive your heroes. Oof, now we're really coming under attack. Let's see if we can kill off Hildy, though. We're going to do this one manually just so we can try and kill off the hero. Okay, not sure if it's going to be possible. But we can try. I think we'll park like this, and we'll keep the Elder back a little bit. Again, we're going to lose, there's no question. It's just, can we kill off Hildy? Oh, and she just ran off. Okay. Well, there goes that plan. Alright, so I think now we'll just maybe try and get a kill on somebody. Nice, alright, well, we killed something. Ouch. Additional ouch. Okay, well, not the greatest turn of events for us here. This is a fairly substantial setback, obviously. The good news, though, is that we do have powerful units, and I think we need to start leveraging them appropriately. We've been kind of, you know, maybe... And again, this goes back to, I think, a point that was made in the comments there. Yeah, I think it was by Jan Seach there. Regarding bringing Habby and Pimpton to the front lines, we've been kind of spreading ourselves out too much. I think we need to focus our efforts much more aggressively. Especially because Pimpton and Holly are very, very powerful. Again, they are extremely powerful thanks to Divine Justicars. So we need to bring them up to the front lines, get them involved in battle. Now, of course, the thing we need to pay attention to is we don't want to lose our throne city now that Welby has been killed off. So we need to make sure that we defend our throne city now at all costs, because if our throne city goes down, that means that the game is over and we've lost. And obviously that's not a desirable outcome for us. So definitely a new layer of challenge now that Welby's been killed. I really didn't think he was going to step out and attack me the way he did. But, you know, again, I shouldn't be surprised. Alright, well. Oh, Army of Welby affected by Sunburst. Now, does that mean, yeah, I'm guessing we're... Is that up here, perhaps? Where are we getting attacked? We'll have to look and see where that is, because one of our armies is being attacked. Just trying to figure out which army that is. It's Quandria's turn right now. Yeah, we are in pretty darn tough. Oh, it might have been here. Yeah, I think they got hit by Sunburst. Alright, well, we'll pull this army back and try to maybe reinforce a little bit, or consolidate kind of what we have. Oh, and now Yargan's come under attack. Let's see if we can run away. I knew this was coming. Let's see if we can retreat back. You know, I have to say, I was starting to feel reasonably confident. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to. I was starting to feel reasonably confident that we kind of had this game a little bit more in hand after last episode and the last 2 or 3 episodes. I think I got a little overconfident, and I think I underestimated sort of the... yeah, we're going to lose this city, unfortunately. I think I underestimated the AI a little bit, and I'm paying for it a little bit now, I would say. Now, the good news is this game is far from over. Like, we still got some good things going on. Obviously, it sucks that we've lost another Shadow Realm city, but we've still got some good things going on, and we can try to recover. Now, it does look like we've had a domain invasion here at Bebjun. Okay, that was just some roaming units. Nothing to really worry about there. Yargan, of course, that was that. Asyut looks like... oh, some more roaming units. That could be a problem if they do decide to attack me. Conjunction in the House of Arctica is now up. All frost damage increases by +3, and all races are now neutral about Arctic. Okay, so yeah, Army of Welby affected by Sunburst. So that was just this stack. I guess Galendil is helping out his teammate Quandria there a little bit. Was this a... Interesting. Looks like these units might be part of a quest or something. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I think we will retreat this army back and maybe do a little bit of work up in this direction here. Ooh, and look at this. We've encountered... We received a proposal from Tankin. I will accept that. What else did we just find? So we've encountered another unit here of Quandria and a dragon dwelling. Do seem to be a lot of dragon dwellings in this particular game, that's for sure. Okay, finally we've had the Dominating Horn arrive with Leo. That's critical. We need that. What else has arrived? A mount here, so that's helpful for War Master Habby. He's now got even more blight protection. He's up to 80%. That's not bad. Again, we've had a domain invasion here. Sassistan, obviously. Looks like we have a few things going on. Mol Biloth has a alliance proposal. Yes, I will happily accept that. We've had another alliance proposal here from Shrazar. Yes, I will accept that. Running low on gold here. Ooh, Endram actually is willing to join us now. I would like to do this. The problem is, at this point in the game, I don't really know if I have the time or the resources to develop a dwelling. That's not really something I think I can devote time to, so I may just keep them as a vassal. Kurzu, yeah, same story. I don't think we're going to bring them into the fold here. We just don't have the resources to develop them. We do have a quest available from Valak here. Let me see. End the terror at the mine. Yeah, you know what? We can do that. If we end the terror at the mine, we can get ourselves a big beetle. That wouldn't be so bad. Might as well accept. I mean, we're gonna head up this way anyway, so let's, even if it takes a little bit longer, we can do this quest and then head on up and have an extra unit to help us out. So not too bad. Yeah, this is a real shame. Really sucks that we can't cast spells or carry out our research now. That's really unfortunate. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's keep moving our big boy units up here. You know, we can even group our cannons in there. Be nice to have an engineer in that stack to do some repairs, of course, but... Or, excuse me, reloads and repairs, I guess. But let's do this battle. All right. Nice lineup here, which is good for us. We can do some big damage there. That's excellent. And then we can reload our cannon. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just park our party robot. Ooh, and you know what? I forgot we have fireworks. Let's do that. Fantastic. And I think we'll maybe just back our units up just a touch here. Same goes for War Master Habby. And now I don't think... Oh yeah, they can still attack my flame tank, so... Just kind of get everybody out of attack range there as best we can. Alright, there's that web attempt, which I was kind of anticipating. We can basically move our cannon over and blast the queen here. There we go. Then we should be able to just step up, and hopefully we can get the kill with our engineer with a blunderbuss shot. Yeah, that should do the trick. Alright, let's see, can we gotta step over one more, I guess. There we go. Nice, okay. Spider Queen is down. Now it's just a matter of these kind of remaining units. I think the flame tank, it would probably make the most sense to try to make sure we hit that Wraith because it's undead. We can actually hit both, which is great. Yeah, there we go. Now, can we kill the Wraith with... No, we can't, so we're going to have to go in melee, so let's do it. There we go. Then we can step up. Blast. Nicely done there. So that takes care of that quest, and we get ourselves a big beetle, which I will happily take as a reward. Another strong unit is always appreciated. Start sending him over this way to join up with our crew that we've kind of got going. We're actually going to have a fairly reasonable army here. We're going to send Habby up this way. He can clear out this lost library, grab these haste berries, and then join in with our other army over there. So we actually will have fairly reasonable forces moving that way. We can grab Blood Brothers, which is going to make a difference. Although since we're leading mostly machines, maybe not that important. Still, though, it's nice to have. And I think it does give... well, I mean, I think we already had Spirit Protection, but again, not a waste. I don't think that's... I don't think that was a waste at all, so... Alright, let's see. What's the fastest way over there? Okay, we're going to go that way. Oh, geez, I forgot. We can go up here, though. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll go up and... You know what? We might even ignore the Lost Library and just go for the haste berries and then get over there. Because we need to get ourselves into the fight kind of ASAP. The cannon here as well can just try and get over there quickly. Alright, these units we were moving over to Valok perhaps, but I may have to kind of hold off on that. We'll have to see. Now, the question with Pimpton, what do we do? Do we want to turn around and start working our way back over here to try to get over to the front lines? I don't think we really can because it's going to take forever for us to do that. I think with Pimpton, it actually makes more sense to just clear more structures, try and generate additional income using Pimpton. I think that's going to be kind of the thing we're going to have to try to do here. So let's get ourselves going. And you know what? We can keep trying to build up an army as well by recruiting units. So, you know what? In this one, we're going to try for this Griffin Rider, that's for sure. I will admit I am still pretty upset about losing Welby, however. This game is feels like it's right on the cusp of starting to get away from me, though, and I have to be really, really careful now. I don't make any more big mistakes or anything like that. Flyer can be our kind of main unit again. We'll use a Bestow Iron Heart. Again, we just really got to start leveraging our most powerful units and get them right up into where we need them, I think, is probably the biggest thing. And there's that phase. Alright, yeah, let's put some work in on this Unicorn Rider here. Very nice. That Feathered Serpent actually does pretty good work. We've got this other Unicorn Rider here that needs to... that needs to be dealt with, excuse me. Let's do that. Very nice. Okay, now, do we have anything with Pimpton that can improve our odds of conversion? Not really, so we may just ride up and try it. Yeah, it didn't work. I wasn't really expecting it to be honest. Kind of low odds. Get the kill there, and then our Slither can step up and battle that Union Guard to death. Okay, so now we've got some healing we can do, so let's send our Serpent in, heal our Flyer. Nice level up for our Serpent as well. And we can drop a heal on our Adventurer, because why not? And then we can... You know what, let's... Oh, geez, I didn't realize I was in their pike square there, so I got attacked. I was going to step off and then come in and flank, but I didn't really notice what was going on. Okay, we'll do that, and then just get the kill there. Perfect. Okay. So that takes care of that quarry. Shock Hatchet, Feathered Cap of the Ranger, and some gold. I think we'll just sell this for gold. I don't think Pimpton does have a hat, but maybe I should have taken it just for the hat. In any case, the extra gold is, I think, going to come in handy, so let's... I'm happy to do that. Now, are we strong enough for the Ziggurat? Probably not, to be perfectly honest. We really don't have a ton of high-level units in here. Or I should say high-tier units. We do have the Feathered Serpent, which needs to level up. This Flyer is a beast, but that's kind of our only big boy unit. The Slither is obviously very powerful, but again, I think we need a little more experience before we do that. So maybe instead we head over to this inn, and we're going to have to leave our Feathered Serpent behind, unfortunately. But let's go like this. And like this. And we can try for maybe another Flyer, which would be awesome. And then... Now, these units, maybe, because they're kind of just miscellaneous, we can start sending them down, perhaps. Yeah, let's do that. We'll group them up. We can send them kind of over here. Maybe they could camp out and try and steal that dwelling away if possible or something. Alright, let's use Pimpton here. We're going to try and get a hold of that Flyer if possible. Okay, stepping up, attacking us, making it a little easier for us, actually. And we'll send our Sun Guard in. Again, we can be pretty fast and loose with this, just because of the Divine Justicars. Blast that Halfling a little bit, and... do some work there. We'll send our... Flyer in like this, I think. Kill the hatchling, and then we can park in defense mode. Now, obviously, we're going to be susceptible to pikeman attack there, but... Ouch. Alright, let's step up with Pimpton here and try for the conversion. Ooh, and we didn't get it. But that opens up some flanking damage we can do here, so let's do that. Ooh, and a nice critical there. Very, very good. Fly in behind and get the kill like that. Very nice. And now we've just got a couple more pesky units to deal with, so we'll do that. We'll do that. Pimpton taking a little bit of damage down there. Let's just drop a nice big heal on himself. And then we can get a nice kill with our flyer. So yeah, unfortunate that we weren't able to get a hold of that flyer, but the inn, we could buy the Eagle Rider. We're not quite enough gold. I don't think it's worth spending all that gold on that, though. It's kind of a raw deal. So now the question is, what do we do? Maybe we loop down around kind of this outside and try and get some more units or something. Let's look at Pimpton. We can level him up some more. Vow of Poverty wouldn't be so bad just to save us a little bit of gold here. Yeah, so that's all right. We'll do that. Okay. What else do we have to decide here? Any other kind of major decisions? What to do with these units, I guess. We have some other units we've produced, which need to be dealt with here. Let's just start sending them all over this way, I guess. Yeah, we've got more that need to keep moving. There we go. Cannons and other machines that can move in to assist. Now, what else? Anything else kind of crazy? I'm just panning around here to see what else I'm potentially missing. So what do we do with these units? That's a good question. I think we'll just kind of try and get them out of the mountain range here. There we go. All right, so now Leo has Dominate, which is going to help. So, this battle's a little bit spicy because we've got some units that can web us, but I think we'll be able to manage it, so let's do it. We can try and dominate one of the spider babies, perhaps. We may need to make use of our patented approach here, which is throwing on a Phoenix Warrior on one of our units. I think we'll do it on this Brew Brother. We'll send him kind of right up the gut here to just try and draw some aggro, I think. Let's blast that baby spider. Very nice. Can we actually get the kill? Yes. Okay, that's good. So now we'll try for the Dread Spider baby. Ooh, webbed there. So that's actually really good because that's going to draw a lot of the heat from my other units. So now we should be able to just start killing off the other units here kind of at will. Can't quite finish the ward, but we can do a lot of damage. How about our Brew Brothers here can put some work in on this Kobold here. Let's do it. Nice, we got a critical, that's good. I don't want to lose them because they're actually in kind of rough shape at the moment. I think we'll send Leo up to just blast this ward for some damage. Now, hopefully I don't get attacked with this Brew Brother. That would be unfortunate. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's just fine. And now we can kill the Warg. And then we can try for the Dominate on the Spider Baby. Let's do it. Fantastic. Okay. Now we're in good shape. And this unit, I think, is going to just run away because it's panicked. Yeah. So now let's step up and just kill it outright. That'll work. Alright, so now we got ourselves a Dread Spider Baby. That's good. A little bit more race governance experience with Halflings. That's not bad. And a level up. Alright, some choices here. Halfling Eagle Riders are very lucky, or lucky clover fields in the domain of Halfling cities generate additional income. You know what? Before we decide that, why don't we go see if we have any lucky clover fields in the domain of any of our Halfling cities. It doesn't look like we do. I think these are our only two Halfling cities. Now, we also don't really have Eagle Riders, and we're probably not going to be producing them. Yeah, I don't see any. Now, we have Lucky Clover, I think. I remember seeing one that was sort of nearby, but it's not in the domain of any of our Halfling cities. So if we look back at this, either our Eagle Riders are very lucky, or Lucky Clover fields in the domain of our cities generate... Just going to look one more time just to make sure. Yeah, I'm not seeing any Lucky Clover fields at all. Because that would be huge. I mean, that's a big economic boost if you have those. Not sure where that Lucky Cloverfield was that I saw recently. Or maybe up by Pimpton, perhaps. Oh, yeah, it was right here. This is what I was thinking of. So, yeah, we don't have any halflings. So I think I'm just going to take the other option, which is Eagle Riders are very lucky. I mean, again, we may end up recruiting a few or something, so... this pains me because this is such a nice boost there, but... Yeah, we'll do that. I don't think it's going to matter kind of either way. Boy, oh boy, yeah, this game feels like it's kind of getting away from me a bit. So let's see what we can do maybe with Holly. Now, again, we want to get Holly up and out of here. So maybe we actually don't worry about even clearing these structures. And we actually just try and get her, like, out of the underground and up into the fight here as soon as we can. We could even... You know what? Let's break this little guy off. Use him as a scout, even. I don't like using a highly leveled unit like that as a scout, but... Oh, and there's some units over there. That's not good. Let's see, can we make it there? Yes, we can. I think we may have to just do that. I think we may have to forego clearing out these structures and make a beeline for going over here and trying to find a way up above ground just so that we can get Holly into the fight, because Holly is going to make a big, big difference for us if we can get her involved. Obviously, clearing these structures would be beneficial. You know, again, the Lost Library would be nice. The item rack here would hopefully give us something powerful, but I just think we need to really prioritize getting ourselves into the fight. And we're going to have other opportunities clearing stuff as we move along here, too. So, a little bit annoying that we're going to have to do that, but we'll get these units going as well. I think we're just going to bring them along because we need everybody we need all hands on deck at this point, I think. So let's engage this battle. We can kill off these undead. And again, you know, comment below in the video here if you guys agree with me on whether or not, you know, moving Holly out of there was the right choice. You know, maybe I should have hung around and cleared out those structures, tried to get the extra income and units. You know, maybe. But, again, in my assessment, I really just need to get myself, get my best units out into the fight. And I think Holly's stack is one of my best, if not my best. So I need to get them involved kind of ASAP, I think. All right, there we go. Our other ogre can just kind of hang back a bit. Alright. Drop a heal on this ogre. Charge in, get the flank. Step our musketeer up. Get a nice shot there, and that should do it. Okay, now we have some other roaming units here that we can try and actually... Oh, I don't think we can convert animal units, which is unfortunate, because otherwise we could try for this mature shock serpent, which would be awesome. But not going to be possible. I'm just looking at kind of what else is in that area. Alright, we'll back Holly up. We'll move this little guy into the stack, because why not? Alright, this little scout here... Guess we can maybe try and come back down. Ooh, looks like we've got ourselves something we can encounter here. It's a Hard Thistle produced that flame tank. We already dealt with that. Ula Zaire, we got to do production. Again, we're not really worried about this right now. We're just going to do merchandise. We've pretty much got to focus on our most important cities and producing very powerful units out of those cities. That's all we really have that's all we can really focus on at the moment. Let's do another flame tank. Alright, so now Leo does have this unit, which is great. Let's make contact with whatever this is. Ooh, nice. Another Dwelling of the Archons. Let's negotiate. Heck yeah, I'll do that. Open borders and peace treaty, absolutely. So maybe they'll give us a quest here soon or something like that. That would be awesome. And you know what? I think maybe we'll turn around. Oh, yeah, we have that treasure we can go grab. So maybe we'll go back that way and do that in the meantime. This stack, we hadn't quite finished moving. We can't get in there for the kill necessarily. Although, if we use just our cavalry, we could. I think we could probably manage that. Yeah, let's do that. We might as well kill off one of our units if we have the opportunity. Okay, so we'll move in like this. And then we can move in for the flank. And that's the kill. Well, at least we killed off one of Quandria's little units there. That's not so bad. So now we'll move our units in just so that we have that. Now we can continue digging for that extra income here. A little bit more gold. Gosh, we almost should have multiple of these little guys. Should have made maybe more of them when we had the opportunity to keep digging and getting as much as we could. Now that I think about it, that might have been smart. So that's actually been working pretty well. So obviously we can't cast any spells since Welby is dead. So I guess we're just going to end the turn there. Ugh. Not a great turn in a lot of ways in that we did lose our hero. We lost our leader, I should say. We lost Welby, which is not good. We suffered kind of a bit of a setback, I would say, despite the fact that we were able to kill off some of Colm's heroes. All right, well, let's see what happens here now. I suspect we're going to start coming under attack in the next little while from either Camille or Colm. Galendil's also apparently not so happy with us as he's been hitting us with stuff. We've now angered Quandria, I'm sure, so I suspect we're going to start taking black kind of from everybody. The other really unfortunate thing about losing your leader is that your units suffer a morale penalty there. As you can see, leader has fallen, which is not good, obviously, as our halflings do need happiness. All right. Again, so far, nothing really happening. We're not seeing anything, which I suppose is probably a good thing. Galendil's turn has passed. Doesn't look like he's absorbed this. This is still a vassal. Again, I don't really think I want to press maybe any further north, although, ooh, I will say this Forbidden Sanctum's pretty juicy. That's looking a little bit enticing for me at the moment. Although I suspect, like I said, if we swoop back down this way, that'll give us a lot of opportunities to continue raking in additional income and recruiting some other units as well with Pimpton. It would be nice, though, to get Pimpton onto the front lines of battle, but he may have to wait and then eventually press north. Now, it does look like these Lucky Cloverfield here, this has been gathered by someone. You can see it recharged in 6 turns. So that could have been a roaming unit, but it also could have been one of Galendil's or somebody else that we're not seeing, somebody else's forces up here. So I do have to be very, very careful. This little vassal city won't last long. That will be attacked and conquered very, very rapidly, I'm sure. Ooh, and look at this. We're coming under attack from a Shadow Stalker, Lesser Shadow Stalker, and a Draconian Scoundrel. Now, this would be unfortunate to lose this city, as again, this is just additional income for us at this point. So let's retreat back. See if maybe we can hide for long enough here. We may actually have to do this battle, which obviously we don't have any spells to really use. Just trying to decide maybe where it'd be best to go. Let's go down this way, I guess. I don't know if we're going to be able to not get hit by that ranged attack, unfortunately. Let's kind of go over here. Maybe we can skirt it a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, they're going to be able to sit right there and blast us with this shard attack, so... a bit of an oopsie on my part there, I think. Yep. Ouch. And, of course, that conjunction's making that even more damaging. Which is very unfortunate. Guess we'll do this. Ooh, that was not smart either. I shouldn't have moved them up the way I did like that. That was kind of silly of me. Can we go over like that? Oh, and now we're out of range. Dang it, I made a couple mistakes there. Getting sloppy. You know what? We can use our sprint, actually. Forgot we had that. We can go over here, and then we can hit both of them. There we go. That at least salvaged something out of it. That's not good. Alright, so now can we at least kill the scoundrel? Not a guarantee. What if we just go around for a nice flank shot here with that? It doesn't really help us either. We'll just do this. Oh, they are bleeding, so thankfully they died of their bleeding. But, yeah, there it is. So that Shadow Stalker took our city. Boy, I feel like I'm just getting kind of a licking in these last few episodes. And now we're coming under attack with Leo here, so let's deal with these elemental units. Maybe an opportunity for a dominate here if we can manage to not die. Alright, Leo, we're going to retreat back a little bit. And we're going to throw up a spell. We're going to use Phoenix Warrior on... You know what? Let's do this. We're going to Were Panther our Mystic. And then we're going to throw it on the Dire Panther. Then we're going to step on back with our Brew Brothers here. And we're going to throw both Nourishing Meals on our Brew Brother that has that's a little bit stronger. And then our Panther here can be our kind of tank unit for this battle. Obviously, those Wisps are going to be a bit of an issue for us. We may even want to use Last Stand, but I think that should be enough having Resurgence on our Dire Panther there. This Brew Brother I'm a little bit concerned about, so I may kind of just keep him back. The other one I think is strong enough we can send him in there. Alternatively, we could throw another Phoenix Warrior on the other Brew Brother, which might be a little bit redundant in that we already have one unit that has that. And we have to just be very careful here. You know what? Let's do it. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I think we'll do this. It's probably overkill, but I just want to play it safe. Okay. Let's kill the Wisp. It's one unit down. Now, Dominate. You know, 60% on that Node Serpent's pretty good. If I had my spellcasting ability, I would probably throw a Skin of Oil on there to try to make it even better. Let's try it. Ah, that sucks. I was really hoping that would work. You know, Leo's kind of in trouble now, which isn't so good for him. Guess let's blast the Node Serpent. And then step off and do some cleaver damage. Very, very nice. Okay, now we're in good shape. Oh, and of course he went after my one that didn't have the Resurgence on him. That kind of figures. One thing I suppose we could do is run away and try to wait for Dominate to come back so that I can then try and dominate the Fire Elemental. So you know what? Let's do that. We're just going to kind of run. So I'm a little bit upset about losing that other Brew Brother, but... Again, maybe not some of my best decision-making. I probably should have thrown Phoenix Warrior on the other Brew Brother who was more at risk. of death because he had lower health. And you know what? That harkens back to that comment from an episode or two ago about the sort of redundancy of throwing... Nourishing Meal on a unit that you're then going to use Resurgence on. Or Phoenix Warrior, I should say. Okay. Now let's try for the Dominate. The only danger here is obviously we're going to get in there, and of course, when he dies, he's going to explode and hurt Leo. Oh, and it failed again. Yeah, alright, let's just get the kill. Oh, that's not good. Now we're going to take even more damage. That's a real shame. I was really hoping to get control of one of those tier 3 units. That would have been very good for Leo. Okay, another domain invasion here. Let's see what that is. Must have just been those roaming units again. We do have a tribute. Ooh, we will take the gold. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Domain invasion, of course, when we lost our city, so we're going to have to try and reclaim that with maybe just a handful of units, if possible. Join offer. Lots of join offers. Probably not going to be accepting any of them at the moment. I think we'll probably call it an episode here. Some really, really unfortunate developments. I definitely made some mistakes this episode, no question about it. You know, and I'm going to have to try and just keep moving forward and dealing with them, so... yeah, we're in tough now. We're in real tough. I'd say that, you know, we've still got, you know, by no means is this game over. Again, I want to make that clear. But, you know, there's a very real possibility that I could end up losing this one. I think I don't want to say for the first time in kind of my, in the series that I've done, that I'm really kind of, you know, flirting with defeat. But I think that's actually maybe a fairly accurate statement. So, we've got a lot of ground to make up, that's for sure. But before we call it an episode here, I do want to just send off this emergency repair drill here to one of my heroes. Now, in terms of who to send it off to, it does provide emergency repair. We already have repair kit with War Master Habby. The only thing is, we don't really have any other heroes that are really, you know, have a bunch of machine units with them. So I think we may actually just send this one off to Habby as well. The other option, I guess, is we give it to Welby when he comes back. But I think we'll send it to Habby. We can always send it back to Welby if he needs it. Anyway, I think we'll call it there. Boy, some really, really unfortunate developments. So we lost Welby himself. Took a serious blow over here. We lost Sassistan. We lost Asyut. We lost another city as well in the Shadow Realm. We lost Yargan. So, boy, things are not looking as good as they were at the start of this episode. But, you know what? We're going to just persevere and keep on trucking. I'm going to save this one here as episode 18. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.